Hello viewers. Well, it's been a bit quiet on the channel this week. I've been working on lots of stuff behind the scenes, but it's been all F1, hasn't it? We had the F1 blog a few days ago, the announcement, sort of announcement of F1 2012, and of course recently I visited, well I say recently, a couple of weeks ago now, I visited Slightly Mad Studios just before they added all the new tracks, typical, and thought I'd check out one of the early builds of the F1 car. This is the second sort of revision in handling, if you like, so a little tour for me. Now, as I mentioned in my video a week or so ago, I couldn't get the steering right at all, so for me it was just a case of touring it round and just getting a general feel for the moment, just to see how the handling has developed on it, how much potential fun there could be in it. First thing that leaps to mind is the super graphics. I have to say, you know, again, visually really nice, lovely reflections on the bodywork, really nice detail you can see in the replay. I can see slow corners. I'm not feeling the car at all at the moment though. Handling still has quite a long way to go on it. As we go down the old start finish straight, again great feeling of speed, car's wandering around a little bit, it's not quite as direct and as planted as I would like into cops, and of course I'll get quicker as I go on. Now, I did this a couple of times. The first time I did it with AI cars on the track, car oversteered a little bit there as well. It's where I'm just not quite getting that positioning as I want it. Car can also step out here sometimes. The back end wasn't very, you know, the downforce at the rear end wasn't sort of holding it in place for me, so I think that's something I need to work on at the moment, just with some of the high speed direction changes, because you should be able to take some of those, well, basically put your foot down and hang on from there. Playing with the AI at the moment, still very early, so there was lots of crashing and bashing, and it wasn't really representative. You'd have more people complaining about the AI crashing into each other than actually what's going on with the driving. And for me, this is more a case of getting a feel for the handling and where it's at. So where is the handling at? Well, at the moment it's very early stage, to be honest. I still think it has a very long way to go. Developers, I'm sure, will admit to that, as it's still something that's very much an early work in progress, and I'm sure over the next few months it's going to improve immensely. It is nice having these cars in the game. Obviously I'm a big F1 fan, and it's going to give you a chance to drive F1 style cars on a whole range of circuits, and a whole, I say F1, I mean we've had F1 cars, we've got a whole sort of range of eras that's currently being put into it. Masses of new content appearing in cars recently, loads of new tracks. Fantastic, you know, the Riviera course, wow, it's absolutely epic at the moment, so I look forward to eventually getting hands on all those, and especially as the handling improves. So there are a couple of really promising cars in there. I mean, the touring car above all probably is the most promising so far. Formula B, I felt it's kind of gone backwards really. Formula B, I enjoyed it more in the early builds than I do in the new ones. As I try to attack this lap a lot harder this time. But again, not much time. I would say if I had a full day's running, I could probably improve my lap times considerably. But at this point, I'm still picking up my braking zones, mainly from experience of sort of looking for turn-ins and stuff like that. But you can see I'd need more time on it to actually learn where I am. And the car's not doing what I expect it to do. It's not turning in how I'd expect it to. So I was finding its response was a bit all over the place. But good fun all the same. So that was my first sort of hands-on the F1 car, and I know many of you have been playing it loads for a while now. But what this has also enabled is the opportunity for people to design their own bodywork, if you like. They have their own custom car designer by the community, and these are community paint jobs you're seeing here on the standard chassis, which everyone can have a muck about with. And paint jobs are absolutely fantastic. It really does bring it to life and turn the Formula A into Formula 1. This picture here of the Red Bull, stunning, absolutely stunning. You could be mistaken for thinking that was a real photo. Really impressive to see. Pictures of the Red Bull. Perfect quality designs on them. The John Player Lotus, looking every bit the part. I used to have a toy Lotus when I was young. Just thought I'd pop that in there. It's fantastic. It's made out of metal. It's actually quite heavy at the time. I don't know where it went. No, it got lost. But it was amazing. And on to the new Lotus, from the old Lotus to the new Lotus. Obviously, Kimi Räikkönen, didn't he do well in the race last weekend? Let's hope he can do well this weekend, but as I hear it, he's just been given a 5-place grid penalty for changing a gearbox, which is a shame for him. Obviously unavoidable. And looking forward to the Malaysian Grand Prix. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, seeing how the teams stack up on a different type of circuit. But we'll leave the F1 for another chat, as we just look at these wonderful paint jobs And you can see here the 2009 Renault there, isn't it? Of course. And the Lotus here, Graham Hill Lotus. I love the detail on the engine, the exhaust, you know, really nice to see how the graphics have moved forward. And I thought I'd throw in a few effects for you guys just to spice it up a bit, give it a bit of the feel. I look forward to trying some of these out and putting some videos together on them eventually once we get a sponsor and a new PC. And then we can do that. But in the meantime, I'm stuck with pictures. And finally, I'll leave you with the McLaren chrome effect, looking absolutely stunning. Great feature, and more cars to come in the coming days.